Okay, this documentary is for all legacies, lineages, and all bloodlines of all social dignities of different places, and especially for caretakers and international security. This documentary is really for international security that I'm making right now. Now, let me explain something to you. Now, I'm going to explain to you why travels are so important in the paradigm of time, and it's called traveling. Now, I'm a man, I travel all the time. I go towards the north or the east or the northeast if I'm ever going towards travels, but I'm going to tell you how real the situation is, even in the paradigm of time. Now, this is also for individuals of high habitat. This documentary is for individuals, especially for international security. Let me show you how critical the situation is for individuals of high habitation and also for individuals of recovery when they're learning doctorism, when they're learning to become a doctor or a specialist when it comes to recovery. This situation is so extremely important when it comes to the physical current reality of natural chemistry, high vibration of a natural anatomy, even to matter. Now, this is a very important documentary. Now, this is especially for the order, I have caretakers. Now, there's a natural order in life because I told you I'm an indigenous Asian. Now, there's natural order in life when it comes to habitation of the reason of social economics. Social also meaning solar system. Now, when a person is taking care of something or regarding the reasons of security or international security, traveling is important. Sometimes some people are supposed to travel certain places 3 times a year, 4 or 5 times a year. Some people travel to certain places like once a season, once a year. Whatever the situation is for traveling, it is extremely important because now let me tell you something. When a person is regarded for international security and for recovery, you got to remember there's social economic empresses. If there's ever a sickness, you don't want a person to be sitting down in council and then they're looking at things at a low current vibration in the physical reality. It has to be at a high current for the peace a person could have instead of warring even at a time, depending on one's habitation of social economics. Now, when a person travels is important because you remember me, I told you I'm the reason of creation of all existence. I'm the real Ra. I'm the reason of anatomy and life. But if I set for individuals to be able to heal. Now, there was empresses and my wives that I had that showed them how to heal. But how are they going to heal if another person didn't honor their temple or sanctuary even at the time? Now, in the overall, all star charts of all social economics of stars, of star clusters, stars of a star astrology, stars of star constellations, or stars even of zodiac, but stars of all social economic star charts, they make up a main empress of space even in the paradigm of time. If the empress doesn't recover at certain points of enlightenment, she can never recover even in her physical. Now, if you have people that's causing disorientation and causing discomfort and keeping it at a low current, those are people that's demoralizing, that's causing bacterias, infections, sicknesses, and diseases. Because a person could get stuck a certain type of way even when it comes to their physics, and they wonder how come they don't recover in a paradigm, because the truth remains the same. It just adjusts with time, and a paradigm is also light because it's past, present, and future, and also in darkness, past, present, and future. If a person doesn't recover at a certain time to their physics a certain type of way, even if their physical reality, is because the time they took their oath or their vow, it was contained to a certain empress, even in a paradigm that was in existence at the time, and individuals of the natural order of the rulership and also natural order of existence didn't travel to certain places where it gets to the intellect or the reason of creation, original or origin of existence for individuals' habitation, even of their transformation or the higher rising of their pineal gland, even when it comes to their physical intellect of their anatomy, of their matter, of their physical reality. Now, if a person has to travel, this is especially for international security, there's international security from all over. If they have to travel to make sure that they're okay, you ever been a place and then you just see mad people dropping dead and you wonder, why did they drop dead? Because a person didn't travel to a certain place, and there might have been situations that might have been civil, that might have complicated situations that caused a fallout at a point in time of existence, and because a person didn't get to recuperate or recover a certain situation with refinement habitation, it caused a detrimental situation to the majority or social habitation of social economics, even of international security. Because you don't want to get caught up with individuals and they seeming like they're monsters, and then you're wondering what's causing this situation, because the demoralizing effect of the physical reality, because individuals didn't honor the rulership, even in physics, even in traveling at the time. This is why a person learns the importance of traveling, because a person has to know the reason to reach points of existence. It's just like going on a journey. You reach a point of high, it's just like a person travels to a place and they realize their mind expands to their peripheral vision, or their sight of the precise sight of their physical reality, where their anatomy vibrates in the physical, and their surroundings of social habitation grows because their mind increase a certain type of way. Now, certain people, if they demoralize from an increase happening, that means they're causing a disease, a bacteria, a virus, or an infection. It's just like a literal empress beyond highest quantum, mega, super, astrological, celestial, and celestial, and any inner points of enlightenment throughout all star charts of all stone, jewels, and elements, or even humanity, even of the physical reality. If an empress falls and then they make a main empress in space, that means there's inner points of enlightenment, altitude, longitude, and latitude all over the place. Now, for her to recover at a time, because if an empress kingdom is coming to a point of existence where they're obligated, or their orbiting rotation is orbiting a certain solar system where it causes certain type of habitation, transformation, and crops and other situations in the paradigm for individuals could increase into their physical when it comes to the vibrating or healing or recovering their anatomy or matter. It comes at a certain time in a certain season. But if you have a crippleization, a person that is crippled at a point and that never recovers or never travels at certain times to certain places to recover the reason of the higher intellect or the consciousness of anatomy, the recovery could be detrimental to other people, and it also could be detrimental to the empress of her certain solar system, of orbiting, coming into the rise at the time of horizon. So a person will learn the reason of their social economics and the reason of honoring rulership, international security, regard, and social education to mannerism and etiquette. Now, a person has to see the importance of this situation that I'm speaking about, because if an empress of the beginning of certain empresses of time of creation, even celestial empresses, for a healing, it takes a certain traveling or certain individuals precise to the outer regard of intellect, even in time to travel, so it doesn't cripple other stars and cause other fallen stars, and also to travel to recover if there's an injury in the paradigm of time, in a high intensity of enlightenment when it comes to the physical matter of rejuvenation or refinement. Now, if an empress doesn't want to fall to end up crippled like other individuals that'll be put, other empresses or other people that'll be put in other physical uncomfortable situations that causes a form of demoralization, so they could refine into a higher stature of existence so they could be able to be okay in the physical reality and not looked upon as a deterrent or demoralizing habit, a demoralizing form of social being or habitation. They have to travel. Is this why it is important for even me, myself? Because if I'm the reason of all international security. If I don't travel, the oaths of international security are not being fulfilled, and it could be detrimental and lead to international security's death because they vibrate in the current reality of high intensity of matter, of consecration, even at a time for when it comes to their anatomy of the physical reality for their humane condition of their humanity of existence. Now, a person has to be able to be educated to know the reason why it's important for the intellect, the reason of creation, of origin to travel at times for individuals won't get hurt. They could be regarded and they could learn more higher forms of reality and the reason why to regard and have certain regard for their physical when it comes in the paradigm of time of existence of the humane condition and humanity when it comes to habitation and social economics. Now, a person has to learn the reason, the importance of traveling for individuals, certain individuals, because certain individuals don't go up because you don't bring your nature base a certain type of way to the high over authority of the higher up at a time because you don't want individuals to vibrate in a natural current and anatomy and causing the death of the physical reality of other individuals in social economics, especially in humane conditions for humanity. So you have to make sure that certain things are leveled out or leveled a certain type of way so existence can continue of the refinement and rejuvenation of matter if there's a detrimental situation that occurs in a physical reality at a time. Now, this is the importance for traveling because if I made an oath to all the Asian empresses and they're the higher up or the higher consciousness of the physical reality, that means the oath has to be fulfilled even for international security, safety, and regard even at a time, even for caretakers, because their life and existence of them, education and instructions of rulership depend on the natural order of orientation and order of honor even at the time for existence to continue for the physical reality, and this information could save your planet. Now, this is how serious the situation is, and this is why it's important to travel in certain places because it causes an intensity, refinement, and also a physical form of surrounding rejuvenation of enlightenment, even when it comes to the current reality. Certain individuals are points of enlightenment. They don't surpass, but certain individuals do surpass. Even as myself, do surpass situations for the travel could be more rejuvenated in higher heights and a higher intellectual regard for the higher enlightenment of the physical reality. Now, if a person, it's just like if a person turns into a squirrel or a bird. Or I'm just giving you a sci-fi example, a science fiction. If a person turns into a squirrel or a bird and they need to change at the time and it causes them not to change, it's because the intellect, the reason of existence, if they disrespected a person of the reason of existence of the oath of honor or the reason of the creation that they took the oath to be able to do something or to regard their physical doesn't travel, and if they offend that individual, it could cause that habitation not to grow a certain type of way, and you won't see the natural enlightenment of the social habitation of the growth of equality even at the time for the physical reality. So it's important for an individual to travel because you don't want individuals to be at a low habitation because a person could lose consciousness a certain type of way and gets prehistoric and primitive, primitive, or how can I say this, predatorial in the physical reality, and then they'll be blamed for things that they have no education of, because the fact is they weren't in a point to refine to know the reason of certain things, and then they'll be stuck. But the reason for education is so serious, so a person has to know the reason of social traveling and the importance of refinement, even at the time, for one's habitation and perceptiveness of the physical reality, so one can gain momentum and vibrational current of enlightenment, even at the time, for their physical, for their legacy, their lineage, their bloodline, and their social, and their dignity, or their social dignity, of the reasons of inhabitation or out of habitation at the time, for international regard, and regarding the reason of one's social habitation, of social equality of the physical reality when it comes to one's social economic system. Because if one empress, if you have a couple empresses, or I'm not going to give you a number, that fall, that means when the go around of the orbiting of certain other planets of another empress come into rulership, she could fall into the same detrimental symptoms, or the same entrapment as the others fell, and it causes a crippling when it comes to the star chart. And if that was never done before, it could cause an extinction of the reason of their social existence, of their humane condition. So it's important for individuals to travel and to know, to regard their reason of their vibrating current of the certain of the physical anatomy of matter, and to know the reason of appreciation and honoring the social economic habitation in one's in social equality. Now, this is important even in life, no matter where you go and where you travel to, no matter what social economics that one enters, because the importance of this is beyond detrimentally important, because this could help even increase the regard of international security for one's safety and one's recovery, even in the physical reality at times of existence. Now, a person has to know the reason why a person honors the reason of traveling, because you bring in the original vibrational high intensity current to a point of existence where it's easier for individual at certain levels or points of enlightenment can be able to refine, and they can be able to the high voltage or velocity of recovery, even at a time of the physical reality. Because a person has to know even to accumulate, even in the physical, when it comes to certain habitation of certain social humane conditions of humanity, of social economics, of equality also. Now, I'm going to be real. This is important that individuals and international security always keep this in mind, because if you have a place and you travel into a place and then you seeing your troops and your armies falling, you're wondering why. Because one didn't honor the reason of rulership, of one's dignity, of the beginning at times of creation for one's existence, even at a point of time or a point of inner enlightenment or a point of outer enlightenment for one's social habitation of the overall condition of the reality at the time. So a person has to make sure that the traveling is honored and honored even in rulership, dignity, instructions, and social orientation of one's natural order, even at existence, because one doesn't want to be out of place or cause out of placement and be blamed for reckless or endangerment behavior or disorientation. One has to be always orderly in orderly conduct to make sure one's regard is safety for one's love and one's honor of the reason of one's social economic equality and existence and of humanity for one's creation. So it's important that individuals honor the reason of traveling, okay? And knowing to regard the reason of honor and rulership at a time with purity and honesty of heart and consciousness. Loved one, this is all I have to say. Love, this is Ralph Lane, Jr. And if you're educated verbally and you go into school, it's even better, because the increase of the one's learning the reason of one's aspect of the physical reality of the overall view is wonderful for one's journey and one's upliftment of the physical reality. Love one. And it's December 21st, 2019. Love one.